Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, April 16th, 2020, and we are again in the final hour of the trading day. I mention this each day, but in my opinion, the best time, for me at least, to make my buying and selling decisions is at the end of the day, right before the close of the market. And I say that because during the day, you have the day traders and the algorithms. They are the ones that are controlling it. They're going back and forth. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions come in. They're dealing with the most size. They have very smart people. They have the best technology, best information. And at the end of the day, in the last hour, particularly the last few minutes, they really come in and start moving the price to what they think, obviously, is the best price, because that's where they're moving it. And so therefore, I like to piggyback my buying and selling decisions based upon what they're doing at the end of the day. That being said, I do occasionally have some day trades, more often than normal. But anyway, I will show you that day trade when we go through my positions. So anyway, I hope everyone is having a good day. I really appreciate everybody being here. I always look forward to seeing everyone. I think we have such a great group, such good comments, such good insight, great poems. So thank you, as always, everybody, for coming by. I really do appreciate it. So, all right. Well, interesting day today. We have kind of a mixed bag. The Dow Jones is down 96 points, down about 0.4%. NASDAQ's having a good day, up 75 points, up about 0.9%. And S&P is up 2.41, barely up, kind of almost break even on the day. So, all right, well, let's take a look and see. Byrne is here. Hey, good to see you, Byrne. Why did you advise me yesterday not to learn Forex? Well, because Forex, you're dealing with futures, Byrne, and there's generally a lot of leverage involved in future trading, and it's a lot more volatile. And hey, look, it may be for you, but in my experience, you're better off learning to trade stocks without the leverage than you are with futures. It's something that you might want to aspire to after you have some experience, but I think it's very difficult to just immediately start trading futures. But anyway, that's why. Scatty13 is here. Hello all. Hello, Scatty. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Nice to see you. Kamal is here. Hey, bud. Good to see you, Kamal. Hope you're having a nice day, my friend. Miko25, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, good afternoon, Miko. Looking forward to our lesson tonight. Always look forward to my lessons with Miko25. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Dan says hello. Marco. Hey, Greg. Hey, Marco. Nice to see you, my friend. Nice to see you. Appreciate you coming. Hope you're having a good evening in Slovenia. Steve Burns is here. Hey, buddy. What's going on? Always great to have the great Steve Burns here. Really appreciate you spending the time and being able to chat with you each day. I'm always appreciative of it, and I know everyone else is. Steve says, hey, Greg and everyone, what a great day. Yes. Well, I guess it depends what you're in, though, right? But Steve is having a great day, and we're going to go over his trades here in a bit. But thank you so much, Steve, for coming. Bob is here. Hey, everyone. Hey, Bob. Nice to have you here. Hey, David. Good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you coming. Kamal, Steve Burns, ROKU. Roku knocked it out of the park. Yes, it did. We are going to get to that in a bit. Hey, Frank. Good to see you. Hello, Greg and group. Hello, Frank. Nice to have you. Deanne is here. Hello, Deanne. Nice to see you. Appreciate you coming back. Johnny Save. Hey, Johnny. Thank you for coming. He says, hey, Steve Byrne says, it is estimated that 96% of Forex traders lose money and end up quitting. Very tough place for new traders to get started. Yeah, thank you, Steve. That's what I was kind of trying to convey up there to a bond. It's very, very difficult. The odds are definitely stacked against you. Brian, hey, Brian, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. All right. Well, so listen, here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to go ahead and run the US legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them all going forward. After that, we're going to take a look at your trades that you were nice enough to share with us. And I have them up here on the board. So we'll go through those one by one. After that, going to spend a few minutes talking about trader psychology. In my opinion, always the most important part of trading is being able to follow your rules, follow your plan. And it is tough sometimes. It really is tough. To me, it's the toughest part of trading. That's why, I like to talk about trader psychology every day. Hopefully by hearing it every day, it will rub off on you and you'll start to internalize it, because you can be the best technician in the world. You can be the best chartist in the world. You can have the best trade plan in the world. But if you don't follow your plan, it's all for naught. And so that's where the psychology comes in. So I'm going to spend a few minutes in talking about some psychology. After that, we are going to go down through my watch list. We're going to go down through each stock one by one. I have 3 requirements when it comes to looking at a potential trade. Requirement number 1, look for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up. I look at each indicator as a group of buyers. I want to be in the company with as many other buyers as possible. You dramatically increase the chance of having a profitable trade if you have a lot of other buyers around you. And so that's why I look for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up at the same time, because I look at that as several groups of buyers coming in at the same time. Step number 2, risk to reward is always very important. You can have a really good setup, but based upon your technical levels above you and what you determine as possible resistance above you, you have to make sure that you have at least a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, meaning that you are able to make 2 times, if not more, to the upside than you are to the downside, based upon what your filters are and what your criteria is of resistance above you. You might have a good setup, but it may be overextended from RSI level and may be overextended in the ATR channels. And, only you can decide what that is. And sometimes it's going to work for you. Sometimes it's going to work against you. But again, it's your plan. You have to follow your plan. Then number 3, very important, correlation of positions. You don't want to have too many positions that are too closely correlated. You don't want to have multiple stocks that are in the same industry, especially on the same day, right? At least that's how I view it. But again, sometimes that works for you, sometimes that works against you, but I like to, just as a general rule, like to have diversification in the type of stocks that I have. I like to have diversification in when I place those trades, on what day I place those trades. And it's also nice to throw other things in there too, other than equities, like gold or silver or oil or bonds, to get even further diversified. And then also very important on your account heat, meaning how much of your total account you have at risk. Even if you are in all sorts of uncorrelated and completely diversified positions, you never know what's going to happen. So anyway, those are the 3 requirements. I'm going to go down through the watch list. If I find something during our first pass, I'll mark it. And then at the end of the day, as we're getting close to the close, I will go through those potential candidates and I'll try to whittle it down to just really what the best possible trade, keeping in mind the confluence of signals, keeping in mind the risk to reward, keeping in mind the correlation, and account heat. So, and then if I'm lucky and I can find something that meets all those requirements, I'll go ahead, place the trade at the end of the day. Then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to clarify anything I discussed. If you'd like me to look at some stock symbols, I'm happy to do that, give you my humble opinion on those. And then if you have a stock symbol that you would like to get my opinion on before the market closes, please let me know. Put a star in it in the chat and I will do my best to get to it before the market closes. I'll do my very best. Okay. So that's the plan for today as usual. So listen, hold tight. I'm going to run the US legal disclaimer and I will be back shortly. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right. Thanks for holding through that with me. Let me just make sure my microphone's on here. Yep, it is. Let's see. Frank says, a bond reminds me of advice I once received from a trader. He told me to come back after my first big loss. Yeah, isn't that true? That is definitely true, Frank. And a bond probably does not understand what that means. Usually you have to go through that first big loss to understand. But yeah, good insight. Thanks, Frank. Zach, hey, buddy, what's going on? Nice to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Steve says, futures, options, and Forex are for advanced traders that have already mastered a robust stock trading strategy. Tough to start with those due to the complexity. Yeah, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. So there you go, Bon. You know, you've heard it from a few people. So anyway, Bon's going to do what he's going to do, but let us know what you decide to do, Bon. Thanks, Steve. Frank says, oh, we got a poem from Frank. A trader is a hunter, not a gambler or punter. Our game is stock. We bait, our trap, and wait. We know the market doesn't care what we think or say, but we always respect the power of our prey. Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one, Frank. Holy smokes. A trader is a hunter, not a gambler or punter. Our game is stock. We bait, our trap, and wait. We know the market doesn't care what we think or say, but we always respect the power of our prey. Man, I mean, it's so freaking good. I can't even stand it, Frank. Thank you, sir. Post that later if you don't mind. Wow. That's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Well, listen, let's get to it. First one is kind of a bummer for me, but it is a good teaching moment. And as you know, Dave, the other day, we were talking about position sizing based upon volatility. And even though this is a down trade, it's a good example of why you need to adjust for volatility, especially on these big kind of volatile stocks. I bought Boeing yesterday at 145.73. Nice setup. We have a higher low V1, meaning we closed below the 1 ATR channel. We rallied into the value zone. We came back down. We got a new group of buyers coming in. We had a false breakout of the day's low and then a close above. Well, my stop was halfway of yesterday's bar. Certainly looks like I'm going to hit it, down 7.48% today. But if you recall, because of the huge volatility of this stock, I position size much smaller. Thank God, right? But right here, the 1 ATR of the day is 18.47%. That means on an average day, any day that this moves, you're going to have about an 18% or 18-point move on the day. Well, 18 points is about 10%, a little over 10%. So because this stock is so volatile, I didn't go with my normal 10% position size. What I did was I took my maximum loss, divided the 2 ATR value into it, and that gave me my shares. And let me show you the difference here. So let's say we have $100,000, and let's say we use 10% of that to buy. So 10,000 divided by 134.95, it would tell us to buy 74 shares. Now, if that's just using the 10%, but because of the volatility here, I want to take my maximum loss. Let's say my maximum loss is $1,000, divided by the value of the 2 ATR, 36.93. See, this way, because it's adjusting for the volatility, tells you only to buy 27 shares instead of 74 shares. So, you know, unfortunate that this one against me, I'm going to have to take a loss, but at least the positive part here and a good teaching point here is that I took 2/3 less the loss because that's how I position size. So anyway, this was a bummer. I had some hopes for this trade, but it just goes to show you, it just doesn't matter what kind of hopes you have. All you can do is take a good setup, put the trade on. It's going to win it's going to win or it's going to lose. And today it looks like it's definitely going to go below my end of day stop. I'm going to have to get out and move on. So that is Boeing. Apple. All right, so I did buy Apple. This is on the weekly chart. I did buy calls on Apple expiring June 18th of 2021. Bought them here on the week where we had the V1 to the upside. Here's bar 1, bar 2 washes out, bar 1 closes above bar 1's close. Bought them right about here, $250 calls. Right now they're $284. So they have done very nicely. I think I'm up close to 45% on my calls so far. So happy for that. On the daily here, Apple is down slightly. It's having some issues here around the third ATR channel, which is not surprising. About 92% of prices do have issues here at the third ATR channel. Doesn't mean it can't go above, but 92% of the time, this is about it. The rubber band pulls pretty tight, and so it's down slightly today. Google. All right, so I did buy Google back here on the 8th of April. I bought it when we had a 520 crossover. This is a good back-tested approach using the 520 on Google. Doesn't always win, but the nice thing with these moving average crossovers is that it gives you a good structure to the trade. It's more of a trend following trade, but it gives you a good structure. It gets you out quickly if you're wrong and gives you the potential for a nice big move to the upside if you can catch a trend. So bought it here at 1206.49, moved sideways, moved up nicely a couple days ago, hit a couple profit targets. It did reject the 200-day moving average, which is a bit of some major resistance up there. So I did go ahead and take half of my position off there because of that reason. Right now, we've tested the 200-day moving average 3 times in a row. Boom, boom, and boom. And it has not been able to get above that. So currently we are down below the 250-day moving average. But again, this is a trend following trade. I'm going to give this one a little bit more room. I'll get out of half if the price closes below both the 5 and the 20. I'll get out of the other half if the 5 actually closes under the 20. And then to the upside, if I get a huge reversal bar, volatility bar, or reject the 70 RSI, that will be my ultimate profit target. But anyway, I'm glad I did get out of the half there. I'm glad that it's still nicely in the money. Okay. World famous SPY trade. Boy, I know you guys get tired of hearing this, and I get tired of saying it. I promise you. But in case we have some new viewers, I do want them to understand why I take this trade. So I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I sell it the first thing the next morning. This is from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. She's the chief investment officer at Charles Schwab. She's the one that put out this this approach. But they did 2 tests. Test 1 was they tested buying the SPY at the open, holding it through the day, selling at the close. If you did this every day since 1993, you'd have actually lost a negative 13.9% return. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the risk overnight, sell it the first thing the next morning, you'd have actually returned a positive 634.2%. So big difference between these 2 approaches. So that is why I buy the SPY every day at the close, hold it overnight, sell it first thing the next morning. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That is true with any trading approach, but you can see the buy at night, sell in the morning has done quite well over time. The buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon has not done much. So it really goes to show you that the real edge is in holding overnight. Now, I do want to point out here, it can be a volatile trading approach, right? There are major drawdowns. It doesn't just go straight up, just like any other approach. But over time, the edge has played out. So the important part is that you stay in the game. If you use this approach, you stay in the game. You use a very small position size. I use maximum 10% position size. Right now, I'm using about 1/4% position size because of the volatility, and we're under the 200-day. So that is why I buy the SPY at the close and sell it at the open. All right, so I did buy the SPY yesterday at the close at 277.76, and I sold it today for a decent little profit at 279.05. So I'm grateful grateful for that. I will be buying this again at the end of the day. All right, and I did have one day trade today, and I want to show you what the thinking was behind this trade. And I used three time frames to take a look at this trade. I looked at the daily time frame. I'm like, okay, we're up at the third ATR channel, right? 92% of prices at the third ATR channel tend to fail. Doesn't mean they have to, but I was just trying to get the context of the daily chart. You know, it's at a point where very likely it could go down, doesn't have to, but you know, it's at that area. Then I went and I looked at the 30-day, the 39-minute chart. And we had this big down bar. Now, if we have a big down bar and then we rally to halfway of that bar, from a Fibonacci standpoint, you're probably going to find some kind of resistance. So again, on the daily, up at the third ATR channel. On the 39-minute, we had a big down bar that it tried to recover from the down bar right about 50. When I looked at it, it was about 50%. So what I did is I went down to the smaller time frame and I looked for a potential trade to the downside. Well, here it was, right? Again, on the 39-minute chart, when we were right here, we were halfway. Here was the big bar. When I looked on the 5-minute chart, we were right about here where, you know, there's a good chance it would go down. So again, I looked at the 5-minute bar and here was my trigger. Had a V1 to the downside. Here's day bar 1, bar 2, went above and then closed below bar 1's high close. That was the signal. My stop on this one was a close above the high of the bar that I entered on. It got pretty close, then moved down, and then it broke down, down, and right when it touched the 100-day moving average, I thought, listen, that's a good place to take it. It was over here at support. I bought it back when it was right there, but it bounced immediately, but I did get filled there. So I shorted at 211.79 and I got out at 210.95. So pretty good trade for 5, 10, 15, 20, about 25 minutes. And that was the place to cover because it immediately took off. So anyway, I've had pretty good day trades this last little bit for sure. All right, so that's it. Come on, good trades on BA. Good trade on BA at Greg. Executing the plan and the trade resizing was good to see through your lens. Yeah, I thought it was a good example of you know, it being a losing trade. I get that, but you know, adjusting for the volatility and at least having 2/3 the loss than normal, at least because I did that. You know, whenever you have a losing trade, try to take something positive out of it. That's what I try to do. Okay, let's go on here and look at your trades. All right, here's Steve Byrne's. Beautiful trade for Steve. Steve bought the 520 crossover here, right about 196.30. Moved sideways for a few days. Had a great day the other day. Moved sideways a little bit and up today. So this is a beautiful trade. I imagine Steve is going to be looking to lock in profits if we reject the 70 RSI. Here is Alibaba. Same approach here. 520 crossover. Steve bought this at 197.80. Moved sideways with the rest of the market. Had a great move up. Yesterday was down, reversed. Beautiful trade, Steve. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're 63.45. So I imagine right around the 70 mark, that's where he'll be looking to get out, or possibly some kind of big reversal bar. IBB, same thing. This one's a little different though. Use the 530 EMA crossover, not the 520, but this one back tests a little bit better on the 530. Bought this here around 109.70 and just a beautiful, wonderful trade on this. Congratulations, Steve. I think Steve made an all-time high today. Now, what else do we have here? Monster. All right. So again, another 520 crossover. The nice thing with these crossovers is if you're wrong probably pretty quickly a lot of the time. And if you're right and you get a trend, well, this is what happens. And so this one's up nicely. This is down slightly a little bit today, but hanging in there for sure. Now, this is the amazing trade. Steve had it, Frank had it, Kamal had it. I sure hope everyone still has this. You never know, but this was a 520 crossover here on Roku, and this thing has just exploded. I mean, this thing is up what since entry? 31%. Unbelievable trade, guys. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, Steve right here says, I exited Roku at 126 for a 30.62% gain. It met my 70 RSI profit target, and I didn't like the pin bar reversal candle. Diminish risk to reward in the short term at these levels. Okay, so Steve's seeing some volatility up here. It's had a huge gain on it. So, all right, we're going to take Steve off. Congratulations, Steve. Man, what a freaking beautiful trade. And what about Frank and Kamal? Either of you still in this? Okay. What's our next one? Google. All right. So I think, oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is Steve. There we go. So Steve did take Google yesterday. This is a different approach now. This is a different move. It's a crossover approach, but a little different. A 1030 SMA, simple moving average crossover. This does back test well. But again, you know, these moving average crossovers get you out pretty quickly if you're wrong, give you the potential for a big uptrend if you're right, and that's the key to trading, right? Small losses, potential big wins. So he bought this yesterday at the close, is down about 1% today. But fantastic, fantastic trades, all of you, Steve and Frank. And Bing He, oh, here's Bing He's trade. And Kamal, look at this. Bing He bought this at 111.51, up 5.54% today. He bought this with the 520 crossover. So very nice, Bing He. I'm very proud of you, my friend. Very proud of you. Proud of everybody. Okay, so that is it. Let's see. Would like to hear your thoughts. Hey, Mount Doji, on BJ's wholesale. It's pretty nice V1, isn't it, Mount Doji? Right? Nice sideways movement. Technically, it's not a return to value because we never closed above the 1 ATR channel, but still, it is a higher low from here. Nice V1 closing over the 50 RSI. Pretty nice. Yeah, I like that one. Let's look at the weekly. You know, nothing crazy on the week, nothing that I hate. It's not like anything wonderful, but mainly I look to the weekly. Is there something I really don't like on the week? But yeah, that looks pretty good, Mount Doji. Steve said, oh, GM. Hey, GM. Amazon. Well, look at this. We rejected the 6 ATR channel. Generally, stocks, an extreme move is up to the 6 ATR channel. Not that they can't go higher. I definitely wouldn't be buying up at these levels, but look at this beautiful sideways motion here in the breakout that just went crazy. Unbelievable. If any of you have Amazon, congratulations. But this isn't something I'd be looking to take a new position in. Steve says, still holding Google. Steve, very toppy Amazon chart after today's intra-high reversal. Yep, I agree. Hey, Bing He, good to see you, buddy. Nice trade, my friend. Roku, you can take me off too. I had sold calls thinking Roku is coming back to 96. Okay. So that leaves Frank, I believe. So Frank, if you have any changes on Roku, let me know. But fantastic trades. BB. Mount Doji wants to look at BB. Well, yesterday was a nice bar. We had a V1. We had a bullish engulfing bar here. We had a low. We went lower than previous day's low, higher than previous day's high. Um, yeah, not bad. Although I think I would have taken it yesterday. I don't usually like to take a trade after the trigger. I think I liked your first one better. Frank says I'm getting out. Okay, everybody is out of Roku. Man, beautiful trade, everybody. And thank you to who brought that up? Was it Frank? No, it was Kamal. It was Kamal that brought it up. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, Kamal. Steve says, yes, I am at all-time highs in trading capital today. Fantastic. I mean, what an achievement, Steve. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ooh, GM says, thanks, I was in. Fantastic. Steve, well-deserved. So cool. GM says, cashed out today, held for a week, surprised at the run. Yeah, unbelievable run. Nice going. Nice going. Okay. All right. So listen, this is the time of the day that I do like to talk about trader psychology. It's extremely important. You know, as I've mentioned, it's important to learn the technicals, support, resistance, entries, exits. It's all very important to learn. I get that. But, you know, after you've put together your plan and you know what you're doing, the more important part, in my opinion, is following that plan and, you know, staying on point, following what you decided. But a lot of times with trader psychology, with, you know, emotions getting amplified, it gets us out of our groove to not follow our plan. So there's some really good Facebook and really good Twitter channels out there that share some good words of wisdom with this, talk about trader psychology, and I really appreciate them doing this. One of my favorites actually highlighted one of his quotes yesterday, but this one's so good, is Trading Composure, at Trading Composure on Twitter. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Has such good information. But let's see what Trading Composure has to say here. Ultimately, consistency comes down to a choice. Do you let emotions drive your behavior and determine your trading performance, or do you let yourself be guided by strategy, planning, and process? When the former and the latter conflict, and they will, only one can be satisfied. So it's so true. Yes, emotions drive your behavior. Emotions drive all of us, right? In everything we do. But when it comes to trading, is your behavior determined by your emotions getting high or by your plan? Or do you let yourself be guided by strategy, planning, and process? When the former and the latter conflict, and they will, only one can be satisfied. So, you know, if you want to make money in the long run in trading, you kind of have to overcome those emotions. And like Trading Composure here says, stick with your strategy, planning, and process, and have that override your emotions. And that is how you're going to make money, right? You're in this game to make money, not to have fun, not to, you know, gamble, have a lot of emotions, highs and lows. You know, if you're after that, then trading can give you this, but you're going to pay the price. So anyway, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. And hopefully this helps today. Okay, Frank says, Steve, we put you under those who can teach and trade. 100%, Frank. I'll tell you what, I mean, a lot of people teach, but what's that old saying? If you can't trade, you teach, right? Steve is definitely one of those that can teach and trade. You know, that's why I sought Steve out years ago, because I knew he was the real deal. GM says, shorting Facebook now. All right. Well, good luck with your short there, GM. Mount Doji says, is Nike a V2? Let me take a look here. No, it is not a V2. It would have to close above 2 days ago's close. The close is up here. So here's day one, day two washes out day one. This would have to close above day one's close. So that is not a V2. Yeah, I don't see anything here Mount Doji on Nike, you know, we're right up against the 50-day moving average. We have all this resistance above us. Doesn't mean it can't go up, but I don't see any signal here. David says Roku broke the 200 and is holding the 70 RSI. Yeah, that is positive for sure. For sure. All right. Well, let's go down through the list, see if anything, we'll just go down through, do a quick little overview on each particular stock here, and we'll see if there's any potential signals for today. Apple, yeah, I don't see anything here. I already have a position, you know, with the calls, but we're right up here against the third ATR channel. Again, yeah, I can't take a new position there. Adobe, very strong here over the 1 ATR channel, looking for a pullback into the value zone here before I can get interested. Amazon, bit of a bearish bar here with the rejection of that 6th ATR channel. Had a huge move, but yeah, I don't see anything on Amazon. Boeing, I took that yesterday with that higher low V1. Unfortunate, this one did not participate today, so I am going to have to get out at the close with the close below halfway of yesterday's washout bar. Berkshire Hathaway, not participating today. Pull back into the value zone is what I would be looking for. Beyond Meat's had a really nice run, but again, like a lot of stocks, pull back into the value zone is what I'm looking for. We're above the value zone. I want to come back into the mean, look for some kind of setup in here. Caterpillar is a V1 today. Here's day 1, day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1. Looks like it's closing above day 1, but this is a return to value V1. Right, better than buying it up here above value, but what I'm looking for is I need to see it coming back into the value zone, get some sideways movement, and then a trigger. So this one would not qualify for me. Carnival, we were below the 1 ATR channel. We came into the value zone, looking for some kind of higher low V1 is what I would be after on Carnival. Dow Jones, again, we're above the 1 ATR channel. I'd like to see it come back into the value zone, get some kind of entry trigger, but I can't buy it here. Walt Disney down today. Did close above the 1 ATR channel. Like to see it come back into the value zone. Sideways movement, look for a V1 or a V2. Etsy up strong today. Boy, look how strong Etsy is. This is amazing. But way too extended here. Doesn't offer a good risk to reward. Facebook down today 1%. Got close to that downward sloping 50-day moving average. Again, the same. Looking for a pullback into value. Gold down a little bit today. You know, for me to get interested, close back into the value zone with the V1 or V2 trigger, the 5 crossing under the 20, that, and then crossing back over, that would be one approach. I did buy it back here with that same approach when the 5 crossed over the 20, moved sideways, came down. I had to sell half my position here, but I kept the other half because the 520 was still in place, and it moved up nicely, and I got out right here when we had that kind of toppy little bar. So that was a good trade. Google, again, I bought this here with the 520 crossover. Has moved up nicely. I don't like that it rejected the 200-day, 3 days in a row. But again, this one's a trend trade. So as long as the price stays above the 5 and the 20, I will hold this. Actually, I'll sell half if the if the price goes below both the 5 and the 20. I'll sell the full amount if the 5 crosses under the 20 to the upside. Rejection of the 70 RSI, I would get out and take profits. Goldman Sachs, pull back into the value zone is what I'd be looking for here. Home Depot, up a little bit today, just moving sideways over the last week or so. But again, broken record, pull back into the value zone is where I'd be looking to rebuy Home Depot. IBB, Steve has this one moved up very nicely, having some issues up here at the third ATR channel. But for me to get interested in IBB, pull back into the value zone, possibly, a V1, a V2, or a close under, close over the 200-day. Intel just kind of been really moving sideways. It's been up and down, but it's really been moving sideways. Again, pull back into value. Russell is down today. It's back in the value zone now, but again, I need it to pull down a little bit further, start to stabilize, get a false breakout to the downside and reversal, or in other words, a V1. Johnson & Johnson, very strong up there at the third ATR channel, nothing there. CarMax had a nice run up. Now it's pulled back. It is back in the value zone. But again, I need it to come down a little further, move sideways, and look for that mean reversion trade. Coca-Cola, same thing, back in the value zone. Lockheed Martin, don't see anything there. MasterCard's quite weak today. Isn't that interesting? But potentially for a trade, we were above the 1 ATR channel. We are back in the value zone, but it's gone down and it's gone down. What I want to see I want to see it stop going down, moving sideways, look for a V1 or a V2 to the entry, for an entry. McDonald's V1 to the upside, but at a pretty high level. That's the only thing. So nothing for me there. Merck, just too high and extended. Microsoft, big strong day. Boy, this has been a rally over this last 2 weeks, isn't it? It's amazing. But just too high, too extended there on Microsoft. Netflix hit an all-time high today. This is a little bit of a suspicious looking bar, though. I can tell you that. Had I been in this trade, I definitely would be getting out here. It looks like it rejected the 70. It might close under the 70 RSI, and especially with that kind of pin bar reversal bar there. Nike, we just talked about that. No V2 Mount Doji on this one. Philip Morris just moving sideways there, kind of being capped off by the 200-day, so pull back into value. PayPal up just a touch, but again, like on most of these stocks, I have to wait for a pullback. Q's, we can get rid of that there. Looks like it might close above the third ATR channel. That is very, very strong to do that. That's a good sign. It's a bullish sign if it can close above that third ATR channel. Silver down a bit today. Looking for a pullback into value here, or the 5 crossing under the 20 and then back over. The SPY, I will buy this at the end of the day. Had a little bit of a profitable trade overnight, so I'm happy for that. Look at Teladoc. Wow. Interesting. But I'll tell you what you have with Teladoc here. You have these highs with high MACD bars. Then we went down. We had red MACD bars. Now we're getting back up close to a double top. See how shallow the MACD bar is here? See, it went up, but see how it's so shallow and short compared to these? So what's starting to happen here is we're starting to get a double top with a bearish divergence. This means that we had strong movement on the way up here. Then we went down. We had movement on the way up here, but the strength of this second move is much less than this first move, and the implication there is that this might turn around and go back down. You'd still need a trigger to get into it, but this is what I learned from studying with Dr. Alexander Elder. These are his favorite setups: double tops with bearish divergences or double bottoms with bullish divergences. Bonds, boy, bonds did exactly what I wanted them to. They closed above the 1 ATR channel. They came into the value zone. They had sideways movement, but no trigger. But you can see, buying the dips back into the value zone after a strong move up is generally a good move, and it surely was on bonds. Tesla, super strong. Nothing there. Twitter, well, above the value zone. Now we're back in the value zone, but it's down, right? So two requirements have been met. One being above, two coming into the value zone. But now I need to see the stop going down and then look for a reversal trigger to go back up. United Continental down 11% today, almost 12%. Wow. So at this point, higher low V1. Here we close below the 1 ATR channel, come into the value zone, have a pullback. Now I'd look for a higher low V1, V2. Same thing I had, same thing as on Boeing yesterday. That's why I took that trade. Wow, look at natural gas. Holy smokes. We were working on a double bottom with the bullish divergence. See how low we got here with the red bars? We didn't actually make a double bottom, but pretty close. But this is a bullish engulfing bar, V1. That's pretty strong. I wouldn't buy it here though, because it already rejected the 50 RSI. See, it's at a 47 RSI. It already rejected the 50, so I feel like that move is probably done. United Healthcare Group, boy, is just cranking. You know, I think everyone sold down here because they thought that the insurance companies were just going to get beat up because of the situation we're having, and it looks like people have priced in that they are not going to have such expenses, and it looks like there's earning yesterday. Oil is something I'm definitely looking at here in the future for a double bottom with the bullish divergence. Here's a low. We have a rally. We come back down, almost having a double bottom with the bullish divergence. This move down here had the deep MACD bars, then we rallied into green. Now we're coming back down, but there are not even any red bars. So again, I showed you on Teledoc the double top with the bearish divergence. Well, this is starting to be a double bottom with a bullish divergence, but no entry trigger there yet. I don't think oil got below. No, it didn't go under 30 and over 30. VIX up a little bit today, not much. Verizon just kind of moving sideways. Walgreens looking for a higher low V1 or V2. Not there yet. We could get a higher low V1 tomorrow. Walmart up big today. Huge, huge, huge. Energy. We were closed above the 1 ATR channel, coming back into the value zone. You know, this is what I'm looking for, but it needs to stop going down, it needs to move sideways, show some consolidation, and then a V1 or a V2 entry. Financial has been weak. They have not participated the last few days. But again, setting up for potential return to value trades. Real estate, not doing much. Utilities, just kind of moving sideways. Healthcare, strong, and Zoom. Don't see anything there. So honestly, everyone, for me, I don't see any potential trades for me today. I think I'm just going to have to stick with what I have. Of course, I'll take the overnight SPY trade. We'll get out of Boeing for the loss. Apple, it's up, so that's good for the calls. Google, I'm holding that with the 520 crossover. Adding the SPY today. And then, oh, I had that on there because of the intraday short trade. All right, we'll get rid of that. So that's about it. You know, I'm in that position right now where I have to wait for a setup. And, you know, it's frustrating when you don't have any setups in the market. It just kind of moves away from you. But, you know, it's just a good example of there's certain times of the year where you can't force your trades. All you can do is have your trade, have your plan, and wait for the market to do what you need it to do before you take a trade. So that's it. Steve says, I had a lot of people talk me into blogging, writing books, doing e-courses, and teaching. It was not my original plan. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that, Steve. Well, I'm glad you did. Steve Byrne says, you seem to enjoy it quite a bit. Glad a lot of folks talked you into it. Me as well. Frank says, I basically trimmed the S&P 500 to about 12 stocks that look appealing during this historical time. The others need the right setup. That sounds good, Frank. Steve says, I enjoy it. Steve says, I like that, Frank. I always try to focus on about 20 to 30 individual stocks. Yes, that is true. Frank says, just trying to adapt to the new world we find ourselves in, Steve. I agree. Quad Racer, hey, what's going on, bud? Good afternoon, everyone. Work lately has made me late to these podcasts. Well, thanks for coming, Quad. Appreciate you being. Better late than never. Zach says, what were you using to trim those down, Frank? Anything specific? Frank says, lifestyle stocks such as Netflix, Amazon, Walmart, Costco, J&J, DPZ. I don't know what that one is. DPZ. Oh, Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza. Okay. Boy, Roku is just a monster, isn't it? Just amazing. Just amazing. So proud of Being He with his EVBG. What a great day today, Being He. Deanne says, pets. Let's look at pets. I haven't looked at that for a long time. Well, certainly doing up in a nice little uptrend, but for me anyway, Deanne, any new potential trade, I would have to look for some kind of pullback. I couldn't buy at these high levels. And listen, sometimes, you'll get up to a certain level, at least for me, and I can't buy there. It does not mean it cannot go higher. It certainly can go higher, right? But for me, I always look at risk to reward, and the momentum could take this up for sure. But for me, I would need to pull back here into the value zone, maybe to the 50-day moving average, something like that, Deanne. Jerry, Theo, hey, nice to see you. Appreciate you coming by. Mount Doji says, ATVA has been one of my best stays at home stocks I have picked. ATVI. Whoa, do you have a position in that, Mount Doji? Look at that thing. What a monster. What a monster. The sideways motion here. It's pretty amazing. And then what a takeoff. Wow. All right, let me check a couple things out over here. Katie's over there looking at me inquisitively. You want to say hi to everybody, Katie? All right. Kamal says Cisco. All right. Oh, is that Cisco or Costco? Cisco. Well, have a V1 here. Here's day one, day two. Day two washes out day one. Day today did close above, but for me, Kamal, this is just a little too high. It's above the 1 ATR channel. Mount Doji says, I'm out now. Okay. Cisco was nice as well. Jerry says, took USO at 428. Oh, nice. Well, you're already in the money. So yeah, we do have this double bottom forming here with this nice bullish divergence. I really like double bottoms with bullish and bearish, or double bottoms with bullish divergences and double tops with bearish divergences. I really, really like them, but they don't happen all the time. That's why I've had my eye on oil here. So, well, let's put Jerry on the board. $4.28 for Jerry. Huh? All right, there you go, Jerry. You're on the board with us. Congratulations. Hope that goes up for you. Boy, this almost could form a V1 today. Here's day 1, day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1, but we'd have to go above day 1's close. All right. Hey, that might go positive on the day for Jerry. That'd be fantastic. Okay. So I really don't have much to do here. Everything's on autopilot. BA is going to sell at the end of the day. Apple keeping, Google keeping, adding the S&P trade at the end of the day, and that is that. So I guess Roku is off the board for everybody. So we'll take that one off. And what do we have? We have about 3.5 minutes. Man, what a good group today. What a good group. So it looks like I might be in thumb twiddling mode here for a while. So if anybody has any changes whatsoever in any positions, let me know and I'll update it. Andrea, what's going on? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here, Andrea. Always nice to have you here. Frank says, I was fortunate enough to have sold Oxy in the upper 30s. It's now paying dividends with stocks. Wow. That's interesting. Well, I'm glad you sold it. Yeah, I'm glad you sold it in the 30s. All right, so it looks like we have about 1 minute left. And just buying SPY at the close. That's it. And getting out of Boeing. Man, that was a bummer trade. I do like how oil is, you know, forming this range and holding here, and then this double bottom. So, yeah, Jerry, that might be good. That might be good. I would take it if we had a V2 tomorrow. Okay. So let me make sure everything got taken care of here. All right. And it looks like my new SPY trade, 279.10. Well, that was a good fill. All right. Over there, 279. 2, 7, 9, 10. That's it. Boeing, what a bummer. What a bummer. But, like I said before, it was a good, legitimate setup where we close below the 1 ATR channel, we come into the value zone, we come back down, we had a new group of buyers come in, formed a beautiful V1, right? But the thing is, with this particular type of setup, I mean, if you take 100 of these setups, you'll probably have winning trades in 65, somewhere between 60 and 70%, more like 65, 70%, at least my numbers show. But there's those 30 or 35% times that it's not going to go. And, it's frustrating, right? But we had the plan, we position size based upon volatility. We put the trade on, or I put the trade on, didn't go well, and have to respect our stop, excuse me. All right, so Boeing's out of there. And let me just check over here. Oh, okay, there we go. I was concerned because the Boeing, I had a end of day order in there. That's what you just heard. Okay, so that's out. So that's it. Apple, Google, and SPY is all that I have at this time. All right. All right, listen, I'm going to get to the rest of the comments and questions. Just quickly, I just put in my quick little daily plug. I hope you don't mind, but I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I really do enjoy teaching. I've had really good success with my clients. I've been trading for 24 years, and I have a lot of experience. I've studied with some really great teachers and mentors like Stephen Byrne and Dr. Alexander Elder and Carrie Lavorne and Larry Williams. And so in the class, I teach you everything that I've learned from all of these great traders and authors, everything that I've developed myself over 24 years. And, the course, I have the course, it's 5 sessions. Each session is between 2 and 3 hours, usually 3 hours. And the format of the class is, for each lesson, I teach you the first part of the class. The second half of the class, I ask you questions. I have you teach it back to me. We do a lot of chart study. I have you break down the charts. What's our next trade? Where's our entry? Is it a good risk to reward ratio? Where are we getting out, either to the upside, to the downside? But we look at hundreds and hundreds of charts. We go through hundreds of days of testing and simulation. So anyway, the course is $1,000. I think it's worth every penny. I think you'll get done with the course and you'll be able to look at trade pretty much any market. And I think, I don't teach anything different in the course than I do here in the live stream, but it's much different because it's personalized. It's one-on-one, right? You can ask questions right away. And so I think it's worth every penny. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. What I'd like to do with potential students is I like to have a free Skype call with them just to get to know them a little bit better, understand their trading history and what their goals are, what their challenges have been. It's a good time for you to ask me any questions about the course or anything about me. Happy to answer that. And then if we decide after the Skype call, that you want to schedule the course, then we'll go ahead and do it. And if not, then that's totally fine as well. So, there's no pressure whatsoever to take this course from me at all. Just want to make sure it's a good fit for both of us. So if you're interested and want to do that Skype call with me, just send me an email. The email's in the description of this video, and you can also send me a message on Twitter. And then lastly, if you enjoy this podcast or this live stream, all I ask is that you would hit the thumbs up button. It helps to build the channel, help grow the channel. A lot of people out there do need help with trading. They need some good, taught some good trading principles. So anyway, if you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here. Thank you. Thank you. CJ Biz. Keltner channel, where is good buy zone on the daily chart for a swing? Well, that is a good question, CJ. Let me see if I can find something to show you. So I can't really answer like one size fits all, but generally, when the price gets above the 1 ATR channel or the Keltner channel, then I like to see it come back into the value zone. I consider anything over the 1 ATR channel overvalued. So that is why I tend not to take a lot of trades up here. I like to take the trades either in value or under value. But to try to answer your question, a pullback into the value zone is a good start for a possible swing trade, but then I like to see it move sideways. I like to see some consolidation. I like to see that there's some buyers there. Then I need a trigger. I need a trigger to get me into the entry. So under the previous day's low, reversal back up with the V1 or V2 entry. And if you don't know what those are, CJ, if you can just look in the description of this video, and I have a whole video on that on YouTube. That would be a return to value kind of trade. Another decent, type of trade that would be good would be some kind of confluence with an under 30, over 30 RSI that also dovetails nicely with like the negative third ATR channel. 92% of prices hold support at the negative third ATR channel. So one of my favorite types of buys are dip buys where I get a confluence of like a 30 RSI with the negative third ATR channel. Those are good spots. David, I was on Roku too, sold 90%. I left 10% because of the 200 MA and the 70. Perfect, David. Wonderful. I didn't know you had Roku. Nice going. Abon says 1,000 Benjis. That's right. That's what my course costs, Abon. Zach says, hard to believe it is so cheap, right? Greg is amazing. Oh, well, thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. I try to make it affordable, right? I do try. Andrew says, hi, Frank and Christopher. Abon, in Ghana here, 1,000 Benjis is like 5,800 of our currency. Yeah, I would imagine. David says, 26 watching, only 6 likes. Oh, I say 16 likes. Maybe we're looking at different things. But yeah, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't, if you don't mind. Okay. Well, the indexes all went green. That is good. So the only thing I took today, I did get rid of Boeing. I took the overnight SPY trade, have Apple with the calls, have Google with the directional trade using the 520 crossover. So that's about it. So anybody else have any changes? I saw Bing He was in here earlier. Look at this trade on with Bing He. Just beautiful. Wow, they're paying dividends with stock, Frank says. I don't think I've ever heard of such a thing. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward. I'm teaching a lesson tonight with Miko 25. Also teaching a lesson with Kyle in South Africa tomorrow night. So I'm looking forward to those. I always look forward to teaching lessons and to teaching. I really do enjoy it. Abon says, I have 555 Skrillas on Amazon on a live demo. Oh, good. Zach says, I am out, friends. Have a great rest of your day. Greg, thank you again for sharing today. You're welcome, Zach. Have a good day. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. It is snowing here at the moment in Utah, and we had an earthquake again yesterday. And then 2 days before that, we had an earthquake as well. So pretty crazy. We've had bunches of earthquakes. So I'm going to take Katie Girl, my dog, out to do a little hiking around in the snow. All right, everybody. Last chance for questions. Otherwise, I'm going to head out of here. appreciate you all coming. Thank you so much. I always like to kind of leave you off and just, make sure you try to go out and do something nice today for somebody, right? In the current situation we have, maybe just give them a call, see how they're doing, see how their day's going. I'm sure they would appreciate it. And, maybe one day somebody will do it for you as well. But always try to make it a policy to try to just do one little nicety, one little act of kindness. I know it sounds cliche, right? But try to do something nice every day for at least one person. And one day, hopefully, somebody will do it for you. Miko says, thanks, Greg. Talk to you later. Yes, sir. Look forward to that. Kamal, thank you, Greg. With all the earthquakes, Utah might be breaking free from the U.S. Man, I think you're right. Thanks, Greg. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you, Brian. Good to have you here, sir. All right. All right, everybody. Take care. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. It looks like tomorrow's the last day of the trading week. So anyway, thanks again. Have a good rest of your day and hope to see you tomorrow. Bye now. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.